Okay, I just haphazardly wrote this, but I just suddenly got this urge to do this video. And it's a character file on a Creepie. Creepie is the main character of the show Growing Up Creepy. Her real name is Crepella, but she's nicknamed Creepie by almost everyone, and she herself has taken a liking to it, so I will use it as well. Creepie was abandoned as a baby by her real parents, and she was adopted by this insect family, consisting of various kinds of insects, and they all took up different roles raising her. Now, the reason I like her is that I had never seen a main character like her before when I was growing up. Most female characters I know growing up was often these everyday insecure people that cared way too much about other people's opinion. But Creepie was completely different. She didn't give a damn what other people thought about her, and it was just wonderful to see a character like Creepie that didn't freak out because she was different. Instead, she actually liked being weird, and if somebody looked at her differently, she couldn't care less. She did have a few friends, but if she was left alone, she could, drive her own race. She could entertain herself, and I love characters like that. More than that, Creepie had a lot of hobbies. She liked to listen to a lot of punk rock and even a lot of folk music. She was a big movie buff. She especially liked horror movies. She watched both modern and old horror movies. I think she's a big Romero fan. Another hobby she had was photography. She liked, going out at nights and taking pictures of things she liked in different lighting and different scopes, and that was a really cool hobby, I think. And of course, she was also very interested in the biology of insects because of her background. Speaking of, I love the relationship she had with her family. Her mom was an African mantis and her dad was a mosquito, and they had a very loving relationship with Creepie. It was always tender, always caring, and always mutual. She loved her parents just as much as they loved her, and it was actually very touching to see them together. Now, can I just talk about her brothers a little bit, Polly and Gnat? Gnat is probably my second favorite character in the show after Creepie. He was very similar to Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. He talked in broken English and had this very raspy voice, and he was very brave and very abrasive. And now Polly, he was this dumb, fun-loving guy that always went on these insane adventures. They were really funny. They were probably the best comic relief the series had, I think. I guess I should talk about the Creepie's love life. The guy she's dating is Skipper. Now, when she first met Skipper, he was called Tarantula Boy, and he was a circus performer with this spider costume. And they hit it off very quickly, mostly because they shared a lot of common interest. They were both very interested in insects and other invertebrates, and of course they also liked the dark and the gothic. Even if usually Skipper is not a goth, but he could get into the same things that she could. But then she saw that he was just an ordinary guy in a spider costume and not a spider human hybrid as she first thought. And she sort of lost interest in him after that. And you might think that was kind of bitchy. That was kind of bitchy of her. And yeah, I thought so too at first. But remember, guys, she is only 13 years old. she will not have any serious relationships right now, or it's very unlikely that she would have any relationships this early in life. Also, she had this image of him that he was sort of her soulmate, and that just didn't turn out to be true. So while I do sort of blame her for, not breaking up with him because they were only on one date, but sort of, losing interest in him, I sort of blame her for that. But I do understand her. I do understand, why she did what she did. But the writers of the show, they must really have liked this pairing, because Skipper returned in a really great episode in season 2 called The Return of Tarantula Boy, where he's now a film actor, and they go on a new date. And now that Creepy knows him a little bit better, she could really start loving him. She could really get to know him better. She could really, now that she know that he was just an ordinary dude, she could sort of start seeing him for the guy that he really was, and she actually did once again start loving him. Later, it actually turned out that Skipper was raised by a family of arachnids, just like she was raised by a family of insects. So, I mean, these two, they were just made for each other. I actually have an idea on how Skipper and Creepy's relationship would be in the future. I can see that since he travels with a circus, or he is, off doing another movie, he will probably not have that much time hanging out with Creepy, so I can see them having sort of a long distance relationship, where they are texting each other every night or so. That's just an idea I have in my head for maybe a fan fiction or so. But let's go back to what this video should be about, the main star of the series, Creepy. I think it's fitting that Creepy is a goth, and I hope I don't stereotype anyone when I say this, but this show was made to educate the children about insects, and insects like the dark. Many of them are nocturnal, others live on the ground. So I think Creepy became a goth to connect more with her family, or she just feels at home in the dark because there is where her family is. She's a very family-oriented young girl. She loves her family. That's part of what I love about that show so freaking much. I love that Creepy, even if she don't have her biological family, she has still found a family that she can call her own. No, and they are insects, and insects are usually portrayed as cold-hearted villains in most children's shows, but not in Growing Up Creepy. There they are mostly, fine. Yeah. I really like her character design. It's sort of like a Powerpuff Girl. I actually think that of all the characters, she is probably the most well animated, and I think that's because she has these really tiny arms and tiny legs and short body. The one problem I actually had with this show's animation was the character movements. They didn't always move. They didn't always move naturally. But Creepy often had very good character animation to her. Also, I like the oh god, I'm losing thought here. I liked the sound effects she made when she walked. It's something a sound you think of when you see an insect walk over a flat surface. It sounds really cool. Creepie was voiced by Athena Karkanis, that also played Anna Maria in Total Drama Island and Diven in Skyland, and she was also in the fourth Saw movie. But sadly, I haven't seen all the Saw movies. I have just seen Saw. I think I saw Saw 2. Yeah, that was all I had for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, see you next time.